Let's see how we can easily create our first project and launch our A/B test in a matter of minutes. Once you create your project by setting the website URL you'll be working with and installing the snippet, this is the UI you'll have in your dashboard. From here, you can create your first experiment. Let's start by doing that. For this, we'll confirm the URL the experiment will be targeting. Now we can edit our first variant. By clicking on edit variant, we're taken to this visual editor, which we provide after you install the snippet. Your website taps into this editor mode, whether it's a WordPress, a React site, Shopify, it doesn't matter, it'll work. Here you can click on the element you want and perform certain style changes. Let's take a look at this other cool functionality we provide called dynamic keyword insertion. It's very useful for folks that may be running PPC campaigns. What will happen is whichever value you have under this URL param, in this case country, that value will show in this keyword. We insert it inside brackets, and we also can use the pipe operators to fall back to any value we want to in case the param is not present. We'll see how this works in a minute. Let's, for example, also change the global CSS of the page. We're gonna target H2 titles, set them to have the color blue. Very nice. And we could also, if we wish to, set custom JS. For this example, we won't. Let's save and finish. Great, so now we've got the change that has taken effect. We can move on to targeting our audience. Let's say you wish to only run the experiment for certain devices or certain countries. You could do that very easily. Just toggle on this option, select the device you wish to target. This will exclude, of course, all unselected devices. For our example, we won't target any country in particular, but you could do so if you wish to. Let's set these rules. Okay, the rules have been applied. Now we are on the experiment page. Let's update the name. Okay, now the next thing to do would be to set up a goal, because what we want to do is be able to track conversions, and we need to define what a conversion will be inside of this experiment. You could easily do this by targeting certain element clicks on the page, targeting specific page visits, or just tracking the time spent by the user on the page. For this example, we'll work with page visits. We'll be targeting any URL that contains the word onboarding. So if a user in his session reaches this page, we'll consider this a conversion. Actually, not onboarding, and the page you want to target is the dashboard. Let's set the goal. Perfect. Now that the goal is set, that we've got our changes applied in our variant, what I'm gonna do is set the traffic to 90%, just so that it's easier for me to show you the variant in action. Save changes, and now we can easily launch our experiment. A few disclaimers before you launch. We're ready to launch. Let's go ahead. Great, our experiment is now running, it's live. Let's see what this means. So let's say we visit the site our experiment is being run at. As you can see, the variant has taken effect. We didn't have a specific URL param for a country, so we had the fallback to Argentina. But let's see the use case where we are actually providing a parameter. You can see this has dynamically changed. And the other thing I want to highlight is how fast these changes take place without any flicker at all, almost seeming as a server side render change, which is amazing actually. I'm gonna do that one more time. Right, so let's close the page, let's refresh, and we can see the sessions have been tracked, right? And you could toggle this to show stats based on unique visitors. This is something I actually encourage. Let's see how the conversion tracking works now. Let's go back to our website. And we said we were tracking visits to the dashboard route. We're gonna go ahead, visit the dashboard route. It's an empty page because it's an example page I've set up. But as you can see on the menu bar, we are inside the dashboard actually. So let's close the page, let's refresh our experiment, and you can see the conversion has been attributed. So for one visitor we received a conversion, that's a conversion rate of 100%. Um, so that's pretty much it. Let's see how an experiment with more data looks like. All right, this is what an experiment with more data would look like. You get this chart visualization, which you can switch from conversions to unique visitors, see a cumulative or per day count of what went on, and the statistical significance of this. Some other stuff I'll highlight is the settings of an experiment where you can schedule a launch date, you can schedule an end date, and some more options which you'll have time to browse and figure out for yourself. But that's pretty much it. This is how we can easily create our experiment, set some cool features like dynamic keyword insertion and track conversions very easily.